Shalom, shalom. All praises to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Kakadash. Double honor to the elders of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations unto the elect of the nation of Israel, and to you speak of the Israelites that are scattered across the four corners of the earth. So y'all say shalom, and shalom to all you brothers that are out there on the highways and byways, laboring and magnifying the words in the names of Yahweh and Yahweh Shai in these last days. Coming back at y'all with another quick video. This is an in transit, driving, lesson right now. I'm gonna try to get this in real quick and upload this to my page. But as you can see, this is a website that I always use. If you watch, my channel frequently, it's a website I always get good information from, good news from. It's called Natural News, and it says billionaire BlackRock CEO calls poor millennials entitled, promises them scarcity inflation. Right. And I looked up that word millennials, and it basically means like, I think the generation millennial is like what, from the I looked it up yesterday. It says like 1981 to like 1995, something like that. And I thought it was like the generation from like the 90s to like, or not the early 90s to like 2000s to like now. That's what I thought millennials was. I knew it had something to do with like, a generation that was, either now or kind of like, I guess, before now. But, because I'm thinking of like the generation now, like the teenagers and stuff now. That's what I was thinking of before that. But I looked it up, the classifications of different generations. You got generation X, generation Z. That's actually the generation we living in now, generation Z, which is from like 1997 or 1998 to like, it says like 2012, but, spiritual, because, generation Z, that's the last letter of the alphabet, and I believe, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shai, I believe that we are the generation that's going to see the second coming of Yahweh Shai. I believe that, because there's so much going on, and, there's so many Israelites that are awoken. And just because you know the truth, that doesn't mean you're going to be saved. The scripture in Daniel, I think it's the 12th chapter, says, some shall await to everlasting life, and some shall await to everlasting shame and contempt. So basically meaning that you're going to have some Israelites that find out they're the Israelites, but they're not going to be, serious about it, because they're not a part of the elect, But the elect is the ones that's going to take heed. They're going to actually hear this word and change and get better, and follow the ways after Yahweh Shai. They're not going to go to the right hand or to the left. But if you're just somebody that just happens to hear the truth and you're not part of the elect, and you're going to fall off, or you're not going to be doing the will of Yahweh Shai. You got a lot of our people that say, oh, yeah, I know I'm an Israelite. Yeah, what's up with them Hebrews? But, yeah, man, I'm just trying to get back on topic, about this article that I came across, because I know the word entitled, a lot of people, they are entitled. They think that they, that something is owed to them, in the generation we live in, especially I'm young, everything is, pretty much given to you. You ain't got to work as hard, even if you got a warehouse job, or it ain't like when we was in slavery, under chattel slavery, under Esau, we ain't gotta grow our own food, what I'm saying? It's kinda like handed to us, So this is definitely gonna happen, because a lot of people, they're not watching, they're not praying, they're not paying attention to the times, they're caught up in the cares of this life, Let's get this in 2 Timothy chapter 2, right? They're caught up in the cares of this life, They're not worried about the times to come, because why? They're entitled, like it says. They're entitled. They feel like that everything should be given to them. Everything should be at their footstep, should be at their fingertips, when that's not the case. Let's get this in I think I said 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. Right? It says, this is what a lot of our people don't want to do. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. It says, though thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Yahweh Shai HaMashiach, Verse 4, it says, no man that warreth and entangleth himself with the affairs of this life, that he may please him who had chosen him to be a soldier. You know? You can't do that. You can't be in this world and serve Yahweh Shem Yahushua. When it comes to with serving Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you have to make sacrifices. That's what this truth is all about. Yahushua sacrificed, a lot of things, and most importantly, his life for us, the Israelites. The Israelites are who you call black, so-called Hispanic, and so-called Native American. And a lot of these people, man, a lot of our generation, especially, I think I'm actually in Generation Z. I'm not even a millennial. That's the generation before me, according to the classification that I had found out when I looked it up. Generation Z is from like I said, 1997 to it says it starts at 2012, but I would just go ahead and say to present day, 2022, because that's the last letter of the alphabet. And you got I think it's called the baby boomer generation, like in the 1950s. And for some reason, when I was in school, I always remembered that, when a lot of people came back from, I think, the Vietnam War, one of the wars, that these Babylonians fought in, people came back and they was having a lot of children. I would say that's like the last time that Esau was living good, before the Lord put the spirit over Abba Bivens, and then in the men of Great Millstone, and, on down to this present day. Hey, the word wasn't going out like that, but now it's going out heavy, especially in these times now that we living in, And that's why a lot of people are going to be caught off guard, This is what Yahweh Shah said, Revelation chapter 16 verse 15, It says, behold, I come as a thief. Blessed is he that watcheth and keepeth his garments, lest he walk naked and they see his shame. Right, you got to keep this truth. You got to seek this truth. That's what your garment represents, just wisdom, knowledge, and understanding. Not seeking your own philosophy, your own understanding, seeking the ways of Esau, trying to come up in Esau society and be rich. And, you have the mindset of you being able to escape the things that Yahweh Shah has sent forth in motion to come to pass. And think that you're going to somehow put it off. Hey, man, you can't do that, I'm going to get this in Sirach chapter 5, because the Lord also said this. This is what the majority of our people do too, especially that generation, the millennials and Generation Z. I'm going to classify them in the same category because, what I'll say, Sirach chapter 5 and verse 7. It says, make no turn to the Lord, and put not off from day to day, for suddenly shall the wrath of the Lord come forth, and in thy security thou shalt be destroyed and perish in the day of vengeance. You see that? So the Lord said, put not off from day to day, Is that not what the majority of this generation does, man? They put off from day to day. They think that they have forever. People like my age or younger, they're in the mindset of, even a little older, they're in the mindset of, I'm young, I got my whole life to live. I'm not ready to have kids. I'm not ready to do this. I'm not ready to do that, Hey, YOLO, Well, that's that entitled generation. You feel entitled, Let's get this in Wisdom of Solomon chapter, what is chapter? I forgot what chapter that was, chapter 3, chapter 2. It's that YOLO spirit. You only live once. No, you don't live once. You live more than once. It's something called regeneration or reincarnation. Let's get this in Wisdom of Solomon chapter 2 and verse 1. It says, for the ungodly said, reasoning with themselves, but not aright, our life is short and tedious, and the death of a man there is no remedy. See, they don't believe that they're going to come back. They don't believe that they're going to be judged for what they do. They believe that, this is it. Let me read the rest of this verse. It says, neither was there any man known to have returned from the grave, for we are born at all adventure, and we shall be hereafter as though we had never been. For the breath in our nostrils is as a smoke, and as a little spark in the moving of our heart. You see that? It says, which being extinguished, our body shall be turned into ashes, and our spirit shall vanish as soft air. So you think your spirit's just gonna vanish? You know? You saw his fire truck, right? Going through. This is what the ungodly thinks, man. They think that their spirits is, just gonna vanish. The majority of this world not having the understanding that they will be judged according to what they have done. I know the Christians talk about, going to hell, but do you really believe in that? If you really believe in that, you won't even be doing what you're doing. If you really believe in that, that's not true. Of course, that's not biblical. The hell doctrine, you going underground and you burning in fire forever. That's not in the scriptures. It's not in the Bible. That's a Roman Catholic doctrine that's made up by Esau, or made up by man. But for you Christians, if you really believe that, that just proves how wicked they really are, man. They really, this is why it says this in Wisdom of Solomon. They don't believe that they're gonna be judged, man. If you did believe that you was gonna be judged, even if it was in that way, you going to a place called hell, you would be, trying to do something right, I guess, to a certain extent, but you're not, because you really don't believe in that. You think that you only live once, and that's it. So you can do all the wickedness that you can. It says, I'm going to read verse 4. It says, and our name should be forgotten in time, and no man shall have our works in remembrance, and our life shall pass away as the trace of a cloud. It says, and should be dispersed as a mist that is driven away with the beams of the sun, and overcome with the heat thereof. You see that? So that's what they believe. As soon as you die, your spirit, it ain't going to go up or down, it's just going to vanish. Yeah, that's it. That's all of you. No, man. I'm going to get this in Ezekiel chapter, I think it's chapter 18. That's not the truth. It says in Ezekiel chapter 18 and verse 4, it says, behold, all souls are mine, as the soul of the Father, so also the soul of the Son is mine, the soul that sinneth, it shall die. Period, point blank. All souls are the Lord's, man. This is all nations are, they have a soul, they have what you call a soul. They have a spirit in them. It doesn't matter if you are a heathen or not, or Israelite. You have a spirit within you, that goes somewhere. It doesn't go down, it goes up, like it says in Ecclesiastes. But that's this generation, they're entitled, They think that they are supposed to be reverenced, that they don't have to work for anything, Everything should be handed to them. Nah, that's not how it go. That's not how it go. That's why let me get this in Isaiah 47, because it's it's in America, man. This is the generation, this is the people, that's in America. Isaiah 47. Get this real quick. It says Isaiah chapter 47 and verse 5. It says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O thou daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. Now, this is talking about America, but the people within America, especially, the generation that it speaks of, the millennials or whatever, and Generation Z, hey, man, they think in their heart that they're going to be forever. They don't think nothing can ever happen to them. Nothing evil can ever happen to them. So when evil things do come, people are surprised. People are caught off guard. They're entitled. But I'm gonna get this in verse 8. I'm gonna get this in verse 7. Verse 7. It says, and thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst thou remember the latter end of it. It says, therefore hear now this, that thou art given to pleasures, Salakia, let me read this again. Verse 8. It says, therefore hear now this, that thou that are given to pleasures, thou that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thine heart, I am, and none else beside me, I shall not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. You see that? But these things are gonna. It says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, and in one day the loss of children and widowhood, they shall come upon thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. See that? For all the wickedness that these people have done, especially in this generation, this is the most wicked generation. This is the most. That's why it says it's gonna be the most dangerous time, the most evil time in history since there was a nation in Matthew the 24th chapter, because this is the most wicked generation. But I'm gonna close out with that. I'm gonna give all praises and all honor and glory to Yahweh Shemel Shai, Ba'Shem Kakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and salutations unto the elect, the nation of Israel, until you scattered bird Israelites. To y'all say shalom, I'm gonna say wow, blah blah blah.